There was one man standing between Julius Caesar and absolute power. Not a king, not an emperor, but Rome's greatest general. His name was Pompey. The Senate believed Pompey would crush Caesar within weeks. Instead, the greatest civil war in Roman history began, and one battle would decide the future of an empire forever. This is the story of how Julius Caesar defeated the only man who could stop him. How Julius Caesar defeated Pompey and conquered Rome. When Caesar crossed the Rubicon, Rome erupted into panic. Senators fled the city. Citizens locked themselves inside their homes. Nobody knew where the war would end. Pompey had something Caesar did not. He had the Senate. He had enormous wealth. He controlled most of Rome's navy, and he could raise far larger armies across the eastern provinces. Instead of fighting immediately, Pompey made a surprising decision. He abandoned Italy. Many people believed it was cowardice, but Pompey had another plan. He wanted Caesar to follow him across the sea, where fresh legions from Greece, Egypt, Syria, and Asia Minor would overwhelm him. Caesar entered Rome almost without resistance, but victory meant little. His greatest enemy was still alive. Pompey was gathering an army unlike anything Rome had seen. Caesar understood one thing: if Pompey was given enough time, the war would be lost before the first battle even began. So he made another impossible decision. He would chase Pompey across the Adriatic Sea, even though Pompey's fleet controlled the water, even though storms destroyed Roman ships, even though many of his own soldiers believed the mission was suicide. Caesar smiled. He had built his reputation by doing what everyone else called impossible, and once again, he intended to prove them wrong. Caesar's darkest hour. Caesar landed in Greece with only part of his army. Many of his veterans were still trapped across the Adriatic Sea. Pompey's navy controlled the coastline. Every day that passed made Caesar weaker. Food became scarce. Supplies disappeared. His soldiers marched for days with almost nothing to eat. Many survived only on roots, wild herbs, and whatever grain they could gather from abandoned villages. Pompey believed time was on his side. He refused to attack. Instead, he surrounded Caesar, waiting for hunger to accomplish what Roman swords could not. Every senator supporting Pompey demanded the same thing: do nothing. Soon Caesar will surrender. But Caesar knew that waiting meant death. He needed to force Pompey into battle. Again and again he marched his exhausted legions directly in front of Pompey's camp. He challenged him, insulted him, dared him to fight. Pompey remained patient. His officers praised his discipline. But among his own supporters, frustration was growing. They had assembled the largest Roman army ever seen. More cavalry, more archers, more supplies, more money. Many believed Caesar had already lost. They simply wanted Pompey to finish the war. Meanwhile, Caesar never allowed fear to spread through his ranks. Every evening he walked through the camps, speaking directly with ordinary legionaries. He remembered their names. He listened to their concerns. He reminded them of Gaul, of impossible victories, of battles where they had defeated enemies who outnumbered them many times over. Slowly confidence returned. The men no longer believed they were starving survivors. They believed they were Caesar's veterans, the finest soldiers Rome had ever produced. Then came disaster. Near the city of Dyrrhachium, Pompey finally struck. His army broke through Caesar's defensive lines. Thousands of legionaries were forced to retreat. For the first time in years, Caesar had been clearly defeated. Dust filled the battlefield. Wounded soldiers cried for help. Shields and broken spears covered the ground. Many officers believed everything was over. Caesar gathered the survivors. Instead of blaming them, he praised their courage. Then he spoke words that would become legendary. Today the enemy could have ended this war, but they did not know how to win. Those words spread through the camp like fire. The soldiers realized something extraordinary. Even after suffering defeat, their commander had not lost confidence, and because he still believed victory was possible. So did they, instead of retreating into Italy, instead of surrendering, Caesar marched deeper into Greece. He searched for one final battle, one battle that would decide the fate of Rome forever. And Pompey followed, certain that the next encounter would destroy Caesar once and for all. The Battle of Pharsalus. Caesar finally found the battlefield he had been searching for. Near the plains of Pharsalus, two Roman armies stood face to face. On one side, Pompey, supported by the Senate, with nearly twice as many cavalry, more infantry, more supplies, and thousands of young nobles who believed victory was certain. On the other side, Caesar. His army was smaller. His men were exhausted after months of marching and hunger. But they possessed something no army could measure: absolute trust in their commander. Before sunrise, Caesar rode slowly across the front line. He looked into the eyes of his veterans. Many had fought beside him for nearly a decade. From the forests of Gaul to the shores of Britain to the mountains of Spain, they had survived everything together. Caesar raised his hand. Today, Rome will remember which army truly deserves victory. Silence filled the battlefield. Then thousands of shields struck together. The sound echoed across the plain. Pompey smiled. His plan seemed perfect. His powerful cavalry would sweep around Caesar's right flank, crush his smaller force, and attack from behind. The battle began. Roman legionaries advanced, shield against shield, sword against sword. Dust covered the sky. Then Pompey's cavalry charged exactly as expected. Thousands of horsemen thundered toward Caesar's flank. But Caesar had prepared for this moment. Hidden behind his cavalry stood a secret line of veteran infantry. The moment Pompey's horsemen closed in, Caesar gave the signal. The veterans rushed forward, not throwing their spears, but driving them directly toward the faces of the cavalry. The horses panicked. The riders lost formation. Within minutes, Pompey's greatest advantage became complete chaos. The cavalry fled. Caesar immediately ordered his reserves forward. His legion struck Pompey's exposed flank. The line collapsed. Thousands threw down their shields. Others ran for their lives. The impossible had happened. The larger army was breaking apart. Pompey watched the disaster unfold. He could hardly believe what he was seeing. Without saying a word, he turned his horse and left the battlefield. The greatest general of the Republic had fled. Caesar had won. When the fighting ended, thousands lay dead across the fields of Pharsalus, but the fate of Rome had been decided. Pompey escaped to Egypt, hoping to rebuild his strength. Instead, he was betrayed, murdered before he could even step safely onto shore. When Caesar finally arrived in Egypt, he was presented with Pompey's severed head. The Egyptian rulers expected gratitude. Instead, Caesar turned away. Even after years of civil war, he had never wanted to see a Roman leader die like that. With Pompey gone, there was no rival left powerful enough to challenge him. Julius Caesar returned to Rome, not as a victorious general, but as the undisputed master of the Roman world. Yet his greatest victory would also plant the seeds of his greatest betrayal, because many senators no longer saw him as Rome's savior. They saw him as its future king, and that fear would soon change history forever. Years later, historians would remember the Battle of Pharsalus, not because Rome defeated a foreign enemy, but because Romans defeated Romans. One victory, one battlefield, one decision destroyed the last hope of the Republic. Julius Caesar stood alone at the top. There was no general left powerful enough to challenge him, no army left capable of stopping him. The Republic had survived for nearly 5 centuries. Now, its fate rested in the hands of a single man. But power always comes at a price. The higher Caesar climbed, the more dangerous his enemies became. Some no longer believed he was Rome's greatest hero. They believed he was becoming its first king. In the shadows, a conspiracy was already beginning to take shape. Daggers were being sharpened. Promises were being whispered. Friends were becoming enemies. And history was moving toward one of its most infamous betrayals. The Ides of March were drawing closer. Caesar had defeated every enemy on the battlefield, but the men who would destroy him were waiting inside the Roman Senate. Next episode, the assassination of Julius Caesar.